All right, here's another exercise in using your watercolor paint at home. Go ahead and pause this video and label your paper with the following colors: red, red, orange, orange, yellow, orange, yellow, yellow, green, green, blue, green, blue, blue, violet, violet, and red violet. Notice that I wrote pretty small and I left just a little gap in between each one in order to fit them all on the paper. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint a swatch of each of these colors, and I'm going to use my palette to mix some of these colors because I have some in my palette, but I don't have all of them. So let's get started. And I've got my water, and I've got a tissue, and my paper, and my paints. So first I'm going to start with red, and I'm just going to pull the red straight from the palette, and I'm going to paint a swipe of red, using the side of my brush to get a wide line. Okay, so that's what my red looks like. Now, red orange I don't have. I do have orange. So I'm going to skip down to the orange, and I'm going to go ahead and paint in the orange just so you can see what that looks like. There's my orange. I'm going to get a little bit more paint on my brush and paint the other direction. Alright, so there's orange. Alright, red orange is going to be a mixture of the red and orange together. So I'm going to use my palette, and I'm going to use a well. I'm going to get some red and put it into this spot on my lid. Okay, so I got, I don't know, maybe, was that like 4 brush loads? And then I'm going to get some orange. I'm trying to not get too much water. I want mostly paint. And then I'm going to add some orange to this. So I want this color to be more red than orange. And I think I've got it. Oh yeah. And then I'm going to paint it. When I think I have the color, it should look more red than it looks orange. I'm just going to paint that guy right in there. All right. Now yellow orange. Let's skip down to yellow to see what the yellow looks like. I got just some yellow on my brush from my palette, and I'm going to apply the yellow to my paper like so. Now yellow orange. I'm going to start with yellow. You should start with your lightest color first, and then in this well I'm going to add some yellow paint. Maybe 2 brush loads, and then I'm going to rinse off my brush before I get the orange. I forgot to mention that the first time. Make sure you're rinsing off your brush in between colors. I'm going to rinse off my brush, and I'm going to get some orange paint, and I'm going to add the orange to this yellow. Now, in this case, I want it to look orange, but it should be more yellow than orange. This looks pretty orangey. So I think I'm going to add some more yellow to it. I'm going to rinse my brush off and dive in here and get some more yellow. There we go. That looks like more yellow than orange. Yeah, there we go. So it's not yellow, it's not orange, it is yellow-orange. I could maybe have a little bit more orange in there. Maybe a little bit more, just a smidge. All right, yellow, green, and green. I'm going to start with my green. I'm going to skip the yellow, green for now. Go to green. And now I'm going to take a mixture of, I'm just going to use this far end of my well. And I'm going to start with my lightest color first. In this case, it's yellow. I'm going to start with yellow. I'm going to do a good couple brush strokes. And sometimes it helps to kind of twist and push your bristles down. You can even run your brush along the edge of this little lip here. That will squeeze off some of that paint. I'm going to rinse it off before I get the green, and I'm going to get just a little bit of green on my brush because I know it's not going to take very much. And then I'm going to add some green to that yellow. And I should have, yeah, that's yellow green. Yep. So it's a mixture of yellow and green. Now on to blue. Okay, here we go, blue. So I skipped over blue-green because I think it helps to see the two colors that we're mixing between. All right, so that's what my blue looks like. Now I'm going to mix my blue and my green in the same well. I'm going to make sure that I don't get it near this yellow-green or they're going to mix. So I'm going to start with green because that's the lightest color between blue and green. And I'm going to plop some green down. I'm going to give it a couple brush strokes here, a couple brush loads rather. And then I'm going to go in with just a little bit of blue because I know this blue is super strong. So I'm just going to get enough blue to kind of get on the end of my brush there. And yeah, I think that that's good. Yep, it's green and it's blue. So you can see the difference between the blue-green and the yellow-green. The blue-green obviously has more blue in it and it looks more like blue. And the yellow-green looks more like yellow. All right, just 3 more to go. All right, Violet, it's your turn. So with my clean brush, I'm going to go in and get some violet. That is also purple. And I'm going to get a big brush load and add the violet to my paper. This is an interesting violet. It's kind of a pastel violet. All right, now I'm going to mix blue and violet together, and I happen to already have some blue and violet mixed together from an exercise that I just did. I'm going to add a little bit more to that, and between this blue and this violet, the violet is actually a little bit lighter than the blue, so I'm going to add some more violet to this blue that I've already got here. And I think I need more paint. That looks kind of watery, so I'm going to I rinse my brush off. I'm going to get some more violet. There we go. Rinse my brush off. Get some blue. I don't think I'm going to need very much. I'm just going to get like the tip of my brush with the blue on it and then add that to, ooh yeah, there we go. And then I get this lovely blue-violet color. Oh yeah. So that's blue, violet. And then, last but not least, red, violet, you're up. All right, so between red and violet, they're pretty comparable in color. I think in this case, I'm going to start with violet. With some watercolor paints, the violet would actually be darker than the red. In this case, I think my red is a little bit darker, so I'm going to start with my violet. I'm using the very last well of my palette. And I'm going to clean my brush off, get some red, and add, I might have added too much red. I think I got a little carried away with the red. That looks too red, so I'm going to go back in and get some violet. It still looks pretty red to me. We'll try one more big brush load of violet. So when you think like yours looks to be enough red and violet, there we go, that's more like it. You can go ahead and paint on your paper. Oh yeah, that's it. And we can't see it next to the red because the red is at the top of the page in this case, but that is what our red violet looks like. All right, so we've painted a beautiful spectrum, mixing the colors of your palette together to create some new colors. Now you can have fun using some additional pages in your watercolor book. Go ahead and go to town mixing some new colors. Have fun with it. And then don't forget to clean out your palette when you're done. So I can take my tissue and just wipe this lid up to keep it clean. That way the next time I want to use it, it's clean and ready to go. Now, a cool thing that I can also do, let's say I mix a color and I really like it. I could leave it in here, and then when it dries, all I have to do is add a little bit of water to it to reactivate it and use it again. So if I really like this color and I didn't get to use it today, I ran out of time, I can save it for next time. And this is, you know, how you would use your palette at home. But if you know that you're not going to use that color again, you can go ahead and clean it up with a clean tissue or paper towel and enjoy painting. And let me know what questions you guys have about mixing paints in your palette.